Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young man named Taro. Taro was known throughout the village as someone who dreamed big. He was always talking about how one day he would achieve something great. But despite his ambition, Taro often found himself distracted, easily discouraged, and constantly shifting from one idea to the next without ever truly finishing anything he started. His dreams seemed as far away as the stars, and he often wondered why success seemed to come so easily to others while he struggled. One evening, as Taro sat under a large tree pondering his future, an old Zen master passed by. The master had seen Taro sitting there day after day, his thoughts always drifting, but never focused. Intrigued, the Zen master approached him and asked, "Young man, why do you sit here, lost in your thoughts? What is it that you are searching for?" Taro looked up at the wise man and replied, "I seek success, master. I want to achieve something that will bring meaning to my life. But every time I set a goal, it feels as though it slips away, and I'm left with nothing. No matter how hard I try, I can never seem to find the path." The Zen master smiled gently and sat beside him. "Taro," he said, "success is not something you find by chasing after it. It is not something you can grab or possess. It is something you must discover through the journey, and more importantly, through the inner peace that guides you along the way. I will give you a task, and through it, you will learn what true success means." Taro's curiosity was piqued. "What task, master?" The old man stood up and pointed toward a distant mountain that stood majestically against the sky. "There is a treasure hidden at the peak of that mountain. It is said that whoever finds this treasure will gain wisdom, peace, and fulfillment. But it is no ordinary treasure. The journey will be difficult, and only the one who has true focus and persistence will reach it." Taro felt a rush of excitement. This was it, the opportunity he had been waiting for. Without a second thought, he jumped to his feet, eager to begin the journey. "I will find this treasure, master," Taro declared. "Thank you for showing me the way." The Zen master nodded, his eyes full of knowing, but he said no more. Taro set off the next morning, eager to conquer the mountain and claim the treasure. He trekked for days, his mind filled with visions of riches and fame. He climbed steep slopes, crossed cold rivers, and braved the biting winds of the highlands. Yet no matter how far he traveled, the treasure seemed out of reach. Weeks passed, and Taro's energy began to fade. His excitement turned to frustration, and his optimism started to wane. One evening, as he sat by a campfire, Taro questioned himself. Why is this journey so hard? Where is this treasure that everyone speaks of? Doubts began to cloud his mind, and he considered giving up. But as he sat there staring into the flames, Taro remembered the words of the Zen master. True success comes through persistence and inner peace. Determined not to give up, Taro decided to continue the journey, though now he walked with a more mindful attitude. He stopped rushing and allowed himself to feel the beauty of the journey. As he climbed higher, he noticed things he had missed before. The gentle rustling of leaves, the stunning views that stretched beyond the horizon, and the quiet serenity of the mountain. For the first time, he understood that the journey itself was a treasure, full of lessons and growth. As days turned into weeks, Taro began to transform. He learned to appreciate the challenges, for each one taught him something new. His body grew stronger and his mind clearer. He encountered moments of doubt, but each time he would remember the master's words, taking a deep breath and continuing forward with renewed focus. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Taro reached the summit. The peak of the mountain stretched out before him, the sun shining brightly in the sky. He expected to find a chest of gold or a dazzling jewel, but when he looked around, there was nothing but the quiet, peaceful beauty of nature. He was confused. Was this the treasure? The realization slowly began to dawn on him. In that moment, Taro understood. The true treasure was not an object or a prize. It was the person he had become along the way, the strength he had discovered within himself, the patience he had cultivated, and the inner peace that had gradually replaced the restlessness he had once felt. The treasure wasn't something to be found. It was something that grew with every step, every challenge, and every lesson. With this new understanding, Taro descended the mountain, no longer seeking external rewards. He felt content and at peace, knowing that success wasn't something that could be measured by material gains, but by the inner growth that had taken place. When he returned to the village, he was a changed man. He no longer needed to chase after success because he understood that true fulfillment comes from embracing the journey, staying focused, and being at peace with oneself. Taro shared his story with others, teaching them that the path to achieving anything in life doesn't lie in shortcuts, but in persistence, patience, and focus. Success wasn't a destination or a treasure waiting to be discovered. It was the wisdom, strength, and peace gained along the way. He had learned that the true treasure in life was not what you found, but who you became. And so Taro lived the rest of his life not in the pursuit of distant dreams, but in the appreciation of each moment, knowing that the most meaningful successes are the ones that come from within.